My boss hated me. Every email, every system change. Every weekend I got called for emergencies he could have prevented. So he sent me an official company email demanding I ban everyone, and I mean everyone, from accessing work accounts over the weekend. I knew exactly what I had to do. Follow his orders. To the letter, he forgot one tiny detail. Everyone included him, and that mistake cost him everything. If you've ever had a boss who treated you like you were disposable, who called you at all hours without compensation, who thought the rules didn't apply to them, this story is for you. Smash that like button, subscribe for more tales of workplace justice, and drop a comment. What's the worst thing a boss has ever done to you? Now, let me take you inside the greatest malicious compliance of my career. Let me paint you a picture of corporate hell. I was a sole systems administrator for a mid-sized company. Not a team, not a department. Just me. One person responsible for every server, every network connection, every email account, every security protocol. Hundreds of employees, millions of dollars in data, all resting on my shoulders. And my boss? Let's call him Mr. Firewall. Mr. Firewall was the IT director. Technically my supervisor, though he had about as much hands-on technical knowledge as a potato. He'd earned his position through politics, not skill. Meetings with executives, buzzwords, PowerPoint presentations with graphs he didn't understand. But what he lacked in competence, he made up for an ego. He micromanaged everything. And I mean everything. Every system update needed his approval. Every configuration change required a written justification. Every minor decision became an interrogation. Why did you reboot that server at 3 a.m.? Because that's when user traffic is lowest, and you approved a maintenance window last week. I don't remember approving that. I have email. Well, next time, remind me the day before. It was exhausting, soul-crushing, like having a paranoid helicopter parent watching your every move, except this parent could fire you. But the worst part? The calls. Oh, God, the calls. See, when you're the only system's admin, you become the de facto on-call support. Server crashes at 2 a.m.? That's you. Email system hiccups on Sunday morning? Also you. Data backup fails on Saturday night? Better believe that's you. I didn't mind emergencies. Real emergencies. The kind where the business is actually at risk. But Mr. Firewall had a very different definition of emergency. One Saturday morning, I remember it was around 9 a.m., because I just sat down with coffee. My phone rang. Mr. Firewall. My stomach dropped. Weekend calls from him were never good. We have a situation, he said. No greeting. No pleasantries. What's going on? The monitoring system is showing a warning on server 7. I need you to fix it immediately. I pulled up my laptop, logged into the VPN, checked the alert. It was a minor disk space warning, the kind that resolves itself when old logs auto-delete. Not urgent. Definitely not a Saturday morning emergency. It's just a low-priority warning. I said, the system will clear it automatically in the next cleanup cycle. Nothing to worry about. I need you to clear it now. I'm not on the clock. This is an emergency. His voice went cold. I don't pay you to decide what's an emergency. I pay you to fix problems when I tell you to fix them. I took a breath. Technically, you're not paying me right now. I'm off duty. Are you refusing to do your job? There it was. The threat. The implication that my employment was conditional on being available 24/7. Unpaid. At his whim. I fixed the non-issue. It took 3 minutes. Then I hung up and stared at my coffee, now cold. Something had to change. Monday morning, I walked into Mr. Firewall's office. Professional. Calm. I prepared what I wanted to say. I wanted to discuss the on-call situation. I began. He didn't look up from his computer. What about it? I'm getting called regularly on weekends and evenings for non-emergencies. I'd like to discuss either setting up a formal on-call rotation with compensation or implementing a tiered alert system, so I'm only contacted for genuine crises. Now he looked up. His expression was somewhere between annoyed and incredulous. You want to be paid for doing your job? I want to be paid for working outside my scheduled hours. Yes. That's pretty standard in IT. He leaned back in his chair. You're salaried. You're expected to be available when needed. Within reason. There's no within reason. When something breaks, you fix it. That's the job. If you can't handle that, maybe this isn't the right position for you. The threat was clear. Shut up or start looking for new work. I left his office with my jaw clenched so tight my teeth hurt. But I didn't let it go. Over the next few weeks, I kept detailed records. Every after-hours call. Every weekend interruption. Timestamps, durations, issue descriptions. I documented everything. Then came the turning point. It was a Thursday afternoon. I was wrapping up for the day when Mr. Firewall appeared at my desk. I've been thinking about the weekend access issue, he said. For a moment, I thought he was going to compromise. Maybe implement some of my suggestions. I'm sick of employees wasting company time on weekends, he continued. People checking emails from home, logging in remotely when they should be unplugged. It's a liability. I blinked. A liability? Productivity theft. If they're working on weekends, we might owe them overtime. I want it stopped. You want to stop people from working weekends? Exactly. Effective immediately. I want you to set up the system so that no one can access their email or remote desktop from Friday at 6 p.m. until Monday at 6 a.m. I stared at him. No one. No exceptions. Lock it down completely. My brain was already racing. That's a significant change. If someone actually needs access for an emergency, then they can wait until Monday or come to the office. This is non-negotiable. I paused, chose my next words carefully. I'll need that in writing. He frowned. Excuse me, this is a major policy change that affects the entire company. I need an official work order, an email with the specifics so I can document it properly. His eyes narrowed. You don't trust me? It's not about trust. It's about following proper procedures. You've emphasized the importance of documentation. I just want to make sure I'm implementing exactly what you're requesting. For a long moment, he just looked at me. Then he shrugged. Fine, I'll send you an email. 10 minutes later, it appeared in my inbox. Subject: Urgent weekend access restriction. Effective immediately. Please configure all systems to ensure an O1 can access company email or remote desktop services from Friday 6 p.m. through Monday 6 a.m. No exceptions. This applies to all staff. Implementation deadline, end of business Friday. I read it 3 times. Then I printed it. I printed it and put it in a folder. I saved a digital copy to my personal drive. I forwarded it to my personal email. Because I knew this was a golden ticket. The rest of Thursday disappeared in planning. Friday was pure execution. The technical side was straightforward. I configured the firewall to block all external VPN connections during the specified time window. I set up the email server to reject authentication from any IP address outside the office network. I created automated scripts to enable a lockdown at exactly 6 p.m. Friday and lift it at exactly 6 a.m. Monday. Then I tested it multiple times, made sure it worked flawlessly. At 5:45 p.m. Friday, I sent a company-wide email. Per IT director's orders, all remote access to email and company systems will be unavailable from 6 p.m. today through 6 a.m. Monday. Please plan accordingly. I BCC'd Mr. Firewall. He didn't respond. At 5:59 p.m., I watched the clock. At 6 p.m., the scripts executed. Every remote connection dropped. Every external email client lost access. The system was locked down tight, and I went home with the most profound sense of anticipation I'd felt in years. Saturday morning arrived bright and clear. I made breakfast, read a book, went for a walk. My phone stayed mercifully silent until 10:30 a.m. The monitoring system, the one that tracks server health and sent alerts, started triggering. I configured it to send notifications to my personal email as a backup, separate from the work system. Critical: Server 7 database replication failure. Warning: Server 12 memory usage 95%. Critical: Primary storage array, multiple drive failures. My heart rate spiked. These weren't false alarms. This was real. A cascading failure that, if left unchecked, could cause catastrophic data loss. Under normal circumstances, I would have logged in immediately, fixed it within the hour, prevented any real damage. But these weren't normal circumstances. I pulled up my laptop and tried to access the VPN. Access denied outside permitted hours. I tried my work email. Authentication failed. I tried remote desktop. Connection refused. Every avenue was blocked. And sitting on my desk, in a carefully labeled folder, was a printed email from Mr. Firewall. And no one can access. No exceptions. I closed my laptop. I'd followed orders, exactly as specified. If the system was failing, that wasn't my problem. I couldn't access it even if I wanted to. Mr. Firewall had made sure of that. The alerts kept coming throughout Saturday, each one more urgent than the last. Critical. Data corruption detected. Emergency. Backup system offline. Critical. Multiple services unresponsive. Sunday was worse. The notifications painted a picture of a system in complete meltdown. Servers going offline. Data becoming inaccessible. Critical business processes grinding to a halt. And I spent the weekend reading, cooking, spending time with family. Because what else could I do? Monday morning, 6 a.m., my scripts automatically lifted the access restrictions. At 6:05 a.m., I was booting up my work laptop when my phone exploded. Mr. Firewall. I let it ring 3 times before answering. Hello? Where the hell have you been? His voice was raw. Screaming. The kind of volume that many'd been doing a lot of screaming already. I'm sorry. I kept my tone neutral. Confused. The servers. The entire system crashed. We just lost the Henderson contract. $40 million. Why didn't you fix it? The servers crashed? Don't play stupid. The alerts have been going off since Saturday. Why didn't you see them? Why didn't you log in? I let the silence stretch. Just a beat. Just long enough. That's interesting. I said slowly. I didn't see any alerts in my work email. Because the system was sending them too, he stopped. I could almost hear the gears turning in his head. I couldn't access my work email. I continued, my voice perfectly calm. Or the VPN. Or remote desktop, per your explicit instructions. All remote access was blocked from Friday at 6 p.m. through Monday at 6 a.m. That obviously didn't apply to you. You're the system's admin. Your email said no one, no exceptions. Use common sense. Obviously, I need access. Obviously, you need access. Sir, with all due respect, your email was very clear. You wrote, and I quote, and no one can access company email or remote desktop services. No exceptions. You specifically said it applies to all staff. You knew what I meant. I followed your instructions exactly as written. You've always emphasized the importance of following directives precisely. I assumed you wanted the policy applied universally. I could hear his breathing. Heavy, furious, but underneath it, fear. Because he knew. He knew he'd screwed up. This is your fault, he said, but his voice had lost its edge. You should have anticipated. I did anticipate. I interrupted. That's why I asked you to send a request in writing, so there would be no confusion about what you wanted implemented. Silence. If you'd like to modify the weekend access policy going forward, I continued, I'd be happy to make those changes. Just send me an updated request via email and I'll prioritize it. More silence. I need you to fix the servers, he said finally. Quietly. I'm working on it right now. I hung up. The servers took most of Monday to stabilize. The data corruption was extensive but recoverable. The Henderson contract, though, that was gone. They needed access to critical files over the weekend for a Monday morning presentation. When they couldn't get them, they went with a competitor. $40 million. Lost. By Tuesday, rumors were spreading through the office. People knew something major had happened, and they knew Mr. Firewall was in trouble. Wednesday morning, I was called into a meeting with HR and the CTO. They asked me to explain the weekend access policy and the server failure. I presented the email, the printed copy with Mr. Firewall's exact words. I explained that I'd implemented his directive precisely as specified. I showed logs proving I couldn't have accessed the system even if I'd wanted to. "Why didn't you call him?" the CTO asked. "If you saw the alerts on your personal backup system, why not pick up the phone?" I saw the alerts. I admit it, but I had no way to access the system to fix them. And honestly, after months of being called on weekends without compensation or formal on-call procedures, I assumed Mr. Firewall's new policy meant weekend work was no longer expected. The HR rep made a note. "Did you at any point try to clarify his instructions?" she asked. "Yes." During our initial conversation, I questioned whether he meant to block everyone, including critical IT staff. He insisted on no exceptions. That's why I requested written documentation. The CTO leaned back. "And you still have that documentation?" I slid the printed email across the table. They read it multiple times. "Thank you," the CTO said finally. "That'll be all." I left the meeting, not knowing what would happen next. Thursday afternoon, Mr. Firewall's office was empty. Friday, his nameplate was gone. I never saw him again. The official story was that he'd decided to pursue other opportunities. But everyone knew the Henderson contract loss had been the final straw in a pattern of poor decision-making. The company brought in a new IT director within a month. Her first action? Setting up a proper on-call rotation with overtime compensation. Her second action? Asking me to help train 2 additional systems admins so the workload could be distributed. My third weekend under the new director, my phone stayed silent. I made coffee, read a book, went for a walk. And I didn't think about servers or alerts or vindictive bosses who thought the rules didn't apply to them. Because sometimes the sweetest revenge isn't elaborate planning or calculated cruelty. Sometimes it's just following orders. Exactly as written. 3 years later, I'm still at that company. The new IT director is fantastic. We have proper procedures, fair compensation, and mutual respect. Mr. Firewall? Last I heard, he's working help desk at a call center. So here's my question for you. Was I wrong? Should I have called him despite his orders? Or did he get exactly what he deserved? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this malicious compliance masterpiece, and subscribe for more workplace revenge stories. Thanks for watching, and remember, always get in writing